Well, hello and a very good evening, everybody, and a special welcome along to Steve. Welcome along, buddy. I hope you're well. And you got an opportunity to watch last night's edition.
I did. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. How are you?
I'm doing okay, I think. Yeah,
Good,
yep.
good. So
Can you see me? Oh, no, you can't
can't
see me.
see you, no, can't see you. There we go. There we
There we
are.
go.
Can see you now.
Excellent. So it might just be you. A lot of people have sent apologies to be here live, but they're watching back on replay like you did last night. So that's not going to stop me from
No
rattling through
trouble.
plan of attack is tonight. So thanks for coming along. So before we get started, though, it'd be good to know why did you choose to come along this week?
I don't know. I think I've seen a lot of your stuff, and I saw the invite and I clicked on it. And it didn't work, and then yeah, I told you you came back and gave me another chance. So I said, right, let's do it.
Good.
Have a look.
Great. Well, thanks for being here. And you got an opportunity to watch the replay from last night.
I did. I just finished watching that 10 minutes ago. Yeah.
Great. And any key takeaways? Any ahas or any
No,
resonated?
no, I mean, ah, maybe one of the reasons that I decided to come and have a look at you tonight is because I've done some stuff like this before. I've not done it. I've looked at it before, haven't done it. I always walked away. I always thought it was a good thing, but maybe not for me. So to be honest, maybe now it's time for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Well, tonight is going to be similar to last night. It's going to be short and sharp. I'm going to
Yeah.
go through what the topic of tonight is. We're going to be looking at paradigms and how these control every single part of our life. I'm going to bring on a short clip from Bob Proctor. Actually, it's not short, it's about 12 minutes, but I'm doing that tonight to really get home, how important these paradigms are to our life and what changing them can do for us. And then I'll just recap and leave you with a little bit of homework. And then that'll bring us into tomorrow night. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds good to me. Yep. That's
Good. So take notes if you want, or you can just sit back, relax, and listen to my waffle for the next maybe 5 minutes or so before I bring on the wonderful Mr. Proctor. So as I said, we are going to be talking about paradigms tonight. Now, Bob, Steve, you've probably been aware of the work of Bob Proctor, yeah?
yes. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Good. Well, I had the privilege of working with Bob for a number of years and obviously following him for a lot longer than that. But not just him being a renowned personal development coach or speaker. One of the key things that I think only Bob, out of all these key personal development gurus over time, he was the only one who really emphasized paradigms and really get us to understand that it's a deeply ingrained mental program that controls all of our habits, all of our beliefs, and all of our behaviors. And what Bob believed and what I believe is that paradigms are essentially a collection of subconscious thoughts, conditioning, habitual patterns that have developed through every single one of our life experiences. That could be our upbringing, that could be sort of our social influences. And so there's so much that's happened throughout the course of our life that really influences who we are. So the key message that I'm going to bring Bob on in a few minutes' time is that he made about paradigms was essentially quite simply that paradigms control results. And what Bob really emphasizes is that paradigms shape virtually every single aspect of our life. And now that includes finances, that includes our health, that includes our relationships. And he also taught us, or taught me, and taught many, many other millions of people across the world that unless you change paradigms, your results will stay the same. And there might be some results that you're happy with, which is great because paradigm's not a negative word, it's just what we do. We might do some things really, really well, but if there's particular results in your life that you want to change, then what we can do is really sit back and become aware. So Bob often talks about awareness being a first step in recognizing limiting beliefs or these limiting paradigms. And that's so crucial to recognize them. And what we're going to talk about tonight is encouraging you to become aware of all the habitual thinking and behaviors that don't just give you the current results, but actually initiate the positive change you want to get in your life. And the only way we can do that is by changing paradigms through repetition and emotion. Now, a lot of people think just by changing behavior is going to change things. It's not. We must get emotionally involved. And Bob really believed in changing a paradigm is all about requiring repeated exposure to new ideas, and that's got to be, absolutely got to be combined with strong emotional involvement. And what he means by that is it's doing affirmations or it's doing visualization that is not just about having consistent action, but consistent positive action with emotion attached to it. And these are essential tools for really changing paradigms. And what he also said was that environment is absolutely incredibly important as well, but so is mentorship. And what he stressed was that surrounding ourselves with positive, like-minded individuals and learning from mentors or coaches who challenge limiting paradigms. Because there's one, recognising ourselves, but if we're not held to account, if we've not got a safe space to say, this is what I need to change, then what we do is we usually let ourselves off the hook. And we usually find myself going around in the same rat race time after time after time, which means that shifting paradigms is a lifelong process. And from Bob's work, I take away that paradigm shifting is not just a one-time event, but this continuous process that as we grow, as people grow, we encounter new paradigms to overcome, but building new paradigms that can really take us up to levels way beyond what we currently think and comprehend. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, if you're going to do something again and again and again, you can change what you're thinking. You can change what you do. You can learn. Yeah.
Bob talks about all the time is Bob refers to this stick person, and you know, a stick person is not just about other people. This is about us. So Bob will refer to this in his little video, but this is us when we're children. You know, this usually there's a full circle with a line across the middle, but separates conscious and subconscious. But when we're children, the subconscious is wide open. Actually, when we're sleepy, our subconscious is wide open. When we are not alert, our subconscious is wide open. When we're not listening actively, our subconscious is wide open. And what's happening is there's all these different ideas and beliefs around money, around health, around fitness, around relationships, around success, around jobs, around whatever it may be, is in there. And then when we're about 7 or 8 years of age, there's a lid that goes across, and these ideas are locked in. And then our conscious mind starts to develop. So in order to really get to grips with these paradigms deeply entrenched within our subconscious mind, we need to identify them, absolutely, but we don't work on an old paradigm. We starve it and we work on a new paradigm by repetition, by getting emotionally involved. So that's the little video clip we're going to be watching tonight. And what we'd urge you to do, Steve, is to write down any questions you've got. It could be any aha moments you've got. It might be things that confirm what your beliefs are already, or confirm your habits and behaviours already. Okay, so is it okay if I bring on Bob now to watch us for 10 minutes or so?
Oh, yeah, we just do what we're going to do. Cool.
Excellent. So here comes Mr. Proctor. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Keep an open mind. And when you come back, don't just maybe agree with it. Challenge what Bob's saying as well, because I like to have a good debate and discussion around what he says. So here's Bob. We'll see you back here in about 12 minutes.
You know, I went through how the conscious mind works, how the subconscious, and how the body is an expression of the mind. And as you go through that, if you go through it a few times, you're going to see, yeah, that's exactly what happens. Now, I want you to think of this for a moment. When you impress an idea upon your subconscious mind, that alters the vibration of this instrument we call our body. See, our body is a molecular structure, really what it is. It's a massive energy in a very high speed of vibration. Now, we invented a word to describe our conscious awareness of vibration, and that word is feeling. If you ask a person, you know, how are you today? They'll say, well, I'm feeling fine, or I don't feel that good, I feel great. You never hear a person say, oh, I'm consciously aware of being emotionally involved with a negative idea, so therefore I've moved into a negative vibration. But that's exactly what happens. So, you see, as we start to understand this, and we become aware that we're not feeling too good, we can change it. Now, it takes a little training, but you can do it. We are really in charge of how we feel. Now, we let other people upset us, but we don't have to let other people upset us. We don't need to react to them. We can respond. We can listen to what they're saying, and they say, well, you're entitled to your opinion, but that's just not what I'm like. And we can hold our own idea of ourselves.
ever wonder what sets successful traders apart? It's not luck,
Apologies.
and it's not gambling. It's a...
You see, it's important that we grasp how the mind works and that we understand the relationship of the body to the mind and the mind to the body. Now, it's our results that we want to change. Now, our results could be in our physical body. It may want to be, you may want to cast off a few pounds. You may want to put on a couple of pounds. You may want to have a little higher energy. See, all the energy there ever was or ever will be is 100% evenly present in all places at the same time. Everything's energy. You know, you'll hear people say, where does he get all the energy? Where does she get all the... Nobody gets energy. Everybody releases energy. Desire is the triggering mechanism that, whoo, lets the energy flow. Now, let's go back and have a quick review. Here you've got the little stick person here. There you've got the conscious mind, and remember, you have the sensory factors hooked up to the conscious mind. And then you have the subconscious mind, and then you have the body. Now, the conscious mind has the ability to choose thoughts. Those thoughts turn into pictures. We turn the pictures over to the subconscious mind, and then the subconscious mind expresses the action, all right? Now, what is the problem? Remember, we said the subconscious mind had no ability to reject. We said the subconscious mind cannot differentiate between what's real and what's imagined. How did we arrive on the scene? I'll tell you. When you arrived on the scene, you did not have any conscious faculties developed. The sensory factors weren't even developed. This is how you arrived. That's called the little life. That's the baby. No conscious mind. So there's the subconscious mind. It's wide open. You can put anything in it. You see, your subconscious mind is programmed genetically. That's why we look like our relatives. It's built right into the genes at birth. But then we're programmed environmentally. Carl Mendinger from the Mendinger Foundation in Topeka one time said, environment is more important than heredity. Why do you think you speak the language you speak? You speak that language because you were surrounded by people that speak that language in your little life. And the language just went right into the subconscious mind. If you grew up in a home that was bilingual, you learned both languages. I had an associate over in Kuala Lumpur, had a little boy, he spoke 4 languages at 4 years of age. And you'd look at that and you'd say, my gosh. No. The baby was programmed. Why do you like the food you like? It's programming. That's right. Now, let's stop and think about the environment we were raised in. Here's the baby, and look at the ideas and the thoughts and the concepts that are going on around that baby are going right into that baby's subconscious mind. Now, through repetition, over and over and over again, and remember, the baby's getting it all day, all week, every week, all month, every month, all year, and this goes on for 4 or 5 years. And the baby reaches the age of 4 or 5 where they can start to think that baby's programmed. That baby is programmed to think like the people it had been surrounded by. If the people that surrounded that baby had gone right through school, the baby will probably grow up and go right through school. If the people that were surrounding that baby always lived in hard times, never had any money, always in debt, that's probably how that baby's going to grow up. Now, this is bizarre, but this is how it happens. It's how it happens for me. I was raised during a depression. We didn't have any money. There was always talk about no money. You should be satisfied with what you've got. Well, that's not true. You should never be satisfied with what you've got. You should be happy with what you've got. Dissatisfaction is actually a creative state. So here we have now a baby that has been programmed. Now, let's take and think for a moment. What happens when that baby starts to think for itself? Now think of this. The paradigm controls the vibration. The vibration controls the action which produces the result. Now here we go. Here you got the baby with the paradigm, and the conscious faculties have developed. They have the ability to think. There's a power flowing into them. What are they going to think? They're going to think thoughts that are in harmony with that paradigm. That's right. We've been raised to believe you go to work to earn money. Do you know that working is the very worst way to earn money? That's right. You should go to work for satisfaction, not for money. You provide service for money. You can earn money while you're sleeping. In fact, we have programs where we teach people to actually earn more money while they're sleeping than they'll ever need to use while they're awake. You say, well, that's a pipe dream. No. That's a paradigm that causes you to think that's a pipe dream. There's people doing that are nowhere near as bright as you. But here we are now. We've got the person They've been programmed in their little life genetically and environmentally. That paradigm is nothing but a multitude of habits. A habit is an idea that's been programmed into the subconscious mind over and over and over again. Now, the paradigm is literally controlling the behavior. Consciously, you can think of one thing, but subconsciously, the other idea will be controlling you. See, we can sit down and we can read these self-help books, we can listen to the recordings, and we say, yeah, well, I can do that. That makes sense. That's logical. But then we can't do it. Why? Now think of this for a moment. I want you to imagine that you're going to accept an idea right now to turn your annual income to a monthly income. You say, well, I'd like that, but will you do it? Probably not. Your paradigm will stop you. See, your paradigm literally controls the results. Now, let's think of how the paradigm was formed. The paradigm was formed through repetition. The ideas being planted in your subconscious mind. Now, understand your paradigm dictates your logic. Your paradigm controls how you utilize your time. Your paradigm controls your perception of situations. Your paradigm controls your effectiveness. Your paradigm controls the amount of money you earn. If you want to change your life, you must change your paradigm. You see, to most people, it's illogical that they could take and turn their annual income to a monthly income. But if you follow our teachings, we'll show you exactly how to do that. We'll show you how to accomplish anything you want to accomplish, because what we're focused on is showing you how to change the paradigm. When the paradigm's changed, your life changes. It's a beautiful concept. It's an absolutely phenomenal concept. Now you know why you're getting the results you're getting. It has nothing to do with your intellect. Your intellect, you can figure out how to do things. That doesn't mean you're going to do them. You'll hear people say, I believe that, but their behavior would indicate they've never even heard of it. Why? We believe something on a conscious level. On a subconscious level, the paradigm believes something else. There's a word called praxis. Praxis is the integration of belief with behavior. We've got to take the beliefs that we have consciously, that we determine by thinking, and plant them in the place of the old belief. See, I used to believe that I couldn't do anything better than I was doing. I felt fortunate that I was on the fire department. The idea of building a company that operated all around the world, furthest thing from my mind. But you know something? As I changed my paradigm, my whole world changed. That's what we do. That's what it's all about. You've got to change your paradigm if you want to change your life. Now, you can study all you want. If you don't gain an understanding how to alter that program, and that's what the paradigm is, it's a program. It's a multitude of concepts that are fixed in your subconscious mind that literally control your behavior. It's a beautiful concept to understand. It's a terrible one if you don't understand it, because it literally controls your life. Why do you think most people go right through their life and keep getting the same results year after year after year? Well, it's just the way it is, and they don't know. We should be taught this in school, but we're not. How is the paradigm formed? Through the repetition of information. How's the paradigm changed? Repetition of information. Now let's suppose you're having a difficult time with money. You find that you got more going out than coming in. You've got to change your concept about money. How do you do that? Through the repetition of an idea. That's where affirmations comes in. I'll give you one that I've been using for years. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. You don't just say that once or twice. You've got to repeat that maybe 1,000 times a day, every day for maybe 90 days. And you'll start to change your whole concept about money. Wealthy people all have multiple sources of income. Now, I'm going to tell you what happened to me. I drove around with a battery-operated record player and a long-playing record. And I played it over and over again every day for probably a couple of years. This was so totally illogical. It was behavior. Everybody thought I was losing it. And I'm reading the same book every day, Think and Grow Rich. As a matter of fact, I'm still reading the same book. And it was the repetition of Earl Nightingale's information and the book that changed the paradigm. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't understand what I was doing, but I did it. Do you know, I had a man come up to me in the Waldorf Hotel in New York, the Waldorf Astoria. at the end of a 3-day program, and he said, Bob, I really want to thank you for what you've just given to me. He said, for the first time in my life, I've understood how I accomplished what I did. I said, what did you do? He said, I won the gold medal in the decathlon in the Olympics in Melbourne, Australia in 1957. That's right. Milt Campbell. And he said, I never understood how he did it. He said, the next time you run a seminar, I want to bring my boys. And he did. Milt and I became great friends. In fact, Milt has a key to our house. He can come stay there anytime he wants. I live in Toronto, he's in New Jersey. But here was the top athlete in the world, a very best athlete in the world. He didn't understand how he got there. Most people that are very accomplished cannot tell you why they are. That's why they are. They've rewritten the program. They changed the paradigm. They might not have understood how they did it, but they did it. That's what our company is all about. We teach people how to change paradigms. I want to thank you for watching this, but I'm going to ask you to share it with other people. Share it with them. Say, come and watch this. Start a rapport. Build a rapport with people, you know. It's a great way to live. And this is great information to understand. Thanks for listening. It's Bob Proctor. I enjoy sharing it with you.
Well, welcome back. I make no apologies for sharing that because the amount of information that's contained in that is absolutely critical if I want to change. So, Steve, any thoughts you had there? Any key takeaways? Anything that
Loads of stuff. I mean, I've read Think and Grow Rich twice. Believe it or not, starting about 17 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to keep things going when you've got the rest of your life living and the rest of your life going on, and everybody, your family, and not your family, your work, and you know, it's just hard to change that paradigm and keep it going every day.
It is. It is. And the thing is, people think it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. And it doesn't need to be this big, huge, convoluted experience where you've got to spend hours and hours and hours and hours. It's just this continuous drip feeding of the same information time after time after time, because that's how we're programmed. That's why we believe what we believe. But it needs to start with what? It needs to start with understanding what you need to change. It needs to then have that desire that's going to really give you the willpower to do it until you meet the objectives you want to get.
I've done a lot of things halfway and then given up, you know. Yeah. I guess like a lot of people.
Absolutely. A lot of people. Anything else you took from there?
Well, I wrote 2 pages down just about the paradigm, finances, health, relationships, be wary of your habits, consistency, all the stuff, paradigm, alter your paradigm. Yeah, it's easy to say but hard to do. So
absolutely.
I guess that's where you need somebody to help you with it, I suppose, yeah.
And that's exactly why I joined his company, why it changed me, and why I'm helping other people change their life and their business. And it's just the most incredible thing ever. And I could never have been where I am without a coach or a mentor. And I had some wonderful people guiding me. And even thinking back before I even knew this material, thinking back in early careers, and I've been privileged to be around some wonderful people that have really led me, disciplined me, that have inspired me, but have also taught me just to understand what it is to lead a life of purpose, of having a proper vision, and then just continue to set little goals to kind of take me on my way. So yeah, you're right.
I know. I mean, I know one of the things that you know, prevents me from doing that, because I always think that I don't like people, I don't like crowds, and I don't like, you know, meeting new people, and I don't like the bother of going and finding out about people. I know that I have that problem.
Yeah, and
I'd rather stay away from people than go and see them, and that's probably a big thing that stops me from doing that.
Absolutely. Well, let me just summarise then what that little clip is saying there, as we kind of bring this kind of session to a closing. I think what we can all agree is what we've just learned of, what we just witnessed there, has changed my life, can change your life in phenomenal ways. But here's the thing: it's only if you take action on it. We can have all the theory in the world, and nothing happens if nothing happens. So I suppose tonight I want to be really clear on a few things. Let's first remember that a paradigm is a multitude of habits that are lodged in the subconscious mind. There's lots of habits we've got. But the second thing is that you must change the paradigm in the same way it was created, and that's through repetition of information. And the third thing, I suppose, coming from tonight is that we must understand, all of us, we must understand that to change a paradigm, we've got to consciously and deliberately replace a bad habit with a good habit, because what's going to happen is we're going to form another bad habit, because Bob often says nature abhors a vacuum. So it's really been concise with that. And the starting process, as I say, is consciously choosing the new beliefs that are aligned with the habits that we want, and then this whole process of planting them in place of the old beliefs within the subconscious mind. And as Bob was talking about, and then one way of doing this is through affirmations. Finding positive affirmations or statements that mirror the beliefs or the behaviours that we want to incorporate, and read the statements over and over and over again. And for example, as Bob said, if we want more money, we can use the affirmation that Bob shared in a little video. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. And the more we see that again and again and again, that's just money, but it could be anything at all that you come up with an affirmation. It's about really doing that repetition. Another powerful tool that I mentioned earlier on is visualization, or Sandy Gallagher calls it visioneering, which we create a new image of ourselves being or doing or having all the things that we want. And now Sandy was an absolute master, and still is a master. I spent time with Sandy now, which is brilliant, on a regular basis. So Sandy was Bob's business partner who started the Proctor Gallagher Institute. And practicing this a few times a day will go a huge way, a long way, to changing bad habits and basically attracting the things we want into our life. So I suppose the homework for tonight is doing a particular exercise. Follow this exercise. I'm going to give you a wee bit of homework. You can try this, okay? Think about a result that you're getting that you don't want, and then ask yourself, what behaviours or habits are causing that result? So what we do is we write down the behaviour and make it crystal clear in detail. And then we'll ask ourselves, what habit or behaviour is the polar opposite of the behaviour that we've just identified? And then we write down the new behaviour on another sheet of paper. And then what we do with the old habit is we burn that piece of paper that contains it, which is a symbolic gesture of just letting it go. And then what we do, we write out the positive habit at 4 or 5 times a day, and we read it frequently. And then what will happen is you'll eventually lodge the new idea in your subconscious mind. And then once it begins to take root, just like when you plant a seed, it takes the power away from the bad habit, and the bad habit starts to actually be malnourished, and it dies of lack of nourishment. And then the new one we've deposited takes over. Now, as you said when we came off that video there, that's going to take a wee bit of time, going to take a wee bit of energy and understanding to do something like this. But I can promise you it will be very much worth the effort, because it basically allows you to write your own ticket in life, wherever that is. And I'm saying that from experience. It's probably 10 years ago when I changed a particular paradigm of mine, and I wouldn't be sitting here teaching this material if I didn't. And that took clarity, that took a decision, and it took me repeating it over and over and over again. And then we just watch how the cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
It's
No, that's good. I can probably rustle up something.
have a go. Take your time by yourself. And by the way, nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's asking for your answers. Nobody needs to see it. But I suppose you need to ask yourself the question, out of 10, how serious are you making changes? Are you happy your life to be like this for the rest of your life? Or what are you willing to do to make the desired change to do that?
No, that's right.
And that's us for
I
today.
got about 10 years ago, I got tattooed on my leg. I got my what do you call it, affirmations. So I got the words happiness, energy, health, wealth, and abundance tattooed on my leg on a scroll.
Good.
And I do find myself, falling asleep to those words as well. So I've started to do something, but I've just never got to the end of it.
Well, maybe tomorrow night what we can do is maybe get to the root cause of that, because I'm well aware that we can have all the information in the world. We'll have all the books, all the podcasts, all the material. We can have goals. We can understand changing paradigms. But tomorrow night is going to be the thing that I know controls everything, and that's our self-image. It's who we see ourselves as. And that's a huge part of our paradigm there. It's been planted in from a very, very young age.
So, yeah.
It's the author of our life.
Okay. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock.
Tomorrow night,
Yep.
7 p.m.
I gotta be here. Yes.
Grand. Well, listen, thank you very much for turning up tonight. Really appreciate it. And
Right.
we'll see you same place tomorrow night, 7 p.m.
Thank you, guys. Talk to you
Okay.
later.
See you there, Steve. Thank you.